I remember the first night clearly, the night that changed everything, the night my body moved faster than my conscience. The house was dark, and the soft hum of our ceiling fan brushed gently against the silence. Michael lay beside me, deeply asleep, his hand resting trustfully over my waist like I was his entire world. His breathing was slow, peaceful, warm against my shoulder. In that moment, with him holding me like a queen he adored, my heart should have been full. Instead, it was beating with a storm that refused to settle. My legs were trembling as I slid gently out of the bed, trying not to disturb him. I could feel his wedding ring brush lightly against my skin as his hand slipped off my waist. The moment felt like betrayal brushing across my hip. I moved slowly, tiptoeing across our bedroom floor, my pulse thundering in my chest. My body was hot, flushed, overwhelmed with shame and excitement all tangled together. The moment I reached the hallway, I pressed my back against the wall and shut my eyes tightly. I could almost hear my conscience screaming at me. But temptation was louder. Temptation was in my bloodstream. My lips still tingled from the kiss Dylan had given me earlier that day in the gym parking lot. Strong hands gripping my waist. His lips crushing mine with the kind of hunger that frightened me but also drew me in like gravity itself. I grabbed my jacket, careful not to let the zipper jingle. My hands trembled as I pushed open the back door. The night was cool, almost too cool, and the air felt like ice against my feverish skin. My phone buzzed in my pocket with a new message. His name lit up the screen. Dylan, I am outside. My heart jumped, and I stepped onto the driveway. His car was parked at the end, dark tinted windows, engine quietly running. His silhouette leaned back, waiting for me. Waiting for me like a thief waits for a door to unlock. I knew I should have turned back. I knew I should have gone inside and crawled back into Michael's arms. But instead, I opened the passenger door and slipped inside. Everything after that happened fast, breathless, intense, and dangerously addictive. But I will come back to that. Because before I take you deeper, let me do something important. I want to appreciate every single one of you for subscribing to the channel. Your love, your support, your comments, your likes, everything you do keeps this channel alive. To all my new and returning viewers who are yet to subscribe, I am appreciative of your presence here. I cannot wait for you to hit that subscribe button because it truly serves as the fuel and energy that keeps powering this channel. Now, right this moment, I want everyone watching to drop a comment. Tell me your thoughts, your reactions, what this hook made you feel. I love hearing from you. Now let us return to the story. My name is Emily Carter, a 32-year-old American woman living in a quiet suburban neighborhood in North Carolina. I work as a freelance graphic designer from home. I have been married for 7 years to Michael Carter, a man who has never loved anything or anyone the way he loves me. Michael is 34, tall, calm, steady, and incredibly patient. The kind of man who kisses your forehead before leaving for work and checks on you 3 times if you sneeze. Then there is Dylan Brooks, 29, personal fitness trainer at the local gym I joined earlier that year. He is bold, sharp-jawed, confident, and dangerously charming. The kind of man whose presence hits you before his voice does. The kind of man who smells like temptation wrapped in sweat and cologne. A man who noticed me the way I had not been noticed in a long time. And finally, there is Sarah Miller, my best friend since high school. Loud, honest, funny, and unfiltered. The one person who could sense trouble in me before anyone else could. Now that you know us, let me take you to where it all began. My marriage had been steady. Predictable. Safe. Michael was everything a woman should want. He was stable, gentle, hardworking, and endlessly loyal. But with time, predictability became silence. Silence became distance. Distance became a hunger I did not understand. I joined the gym because I wanted change, or at least that was what I told myself. The first time I saw Dylan, he was spotting another woman during her weightlifting set. His voice was deep, smooth, and confident. I watched him without meaning to, and when he finally turned and caught me staring, he smiled in a way that made my body react before my mind did. I told myself it was just harmless curiosity. But that curiosity grew teeth. 2 weeks later, I caught him watching me through the mirror as I stretched. His eyes traced my movements in a way that felt sinful and thrilling. When I stood up, he walked over with slow, intentional steps. His voice felt like a warm line dragging down my spine. "Your form is good. But I can help you do it better." That was the sentence that opened the first door to the lies I would later tell. He adjusted my posture, guiding my hips, touching my waist with hands that lingered too long. I felt heat rise inside me, not from exercise but from something far more dangerous. When his lips brushed my ear as he corrected my stance, I inhaled sharply. I should have walked away. Instead, I returned the next day. By the 4th week, the tension between us was like a rope pulled so tight that one tug would snap it. And one day, it snapped. It was a rainy afternoon. The gym was nearly empty. I finished my workout and was heading toward the parking lot when I heard his footsteps behind me. He grabbed my hand, pulled me close, and pressed his forehead against mine. His breath was warm and his voice was low. "I have wanted to do that since the first day I saw you." Before I could even respond, his lips were on mine. Hard. Intense. Hungry. It was wrong, and I knew it. I felt guilt claw at my chest, but I kissed him back like my entire body had been waiting for that moment. We kissed until the rain soaked us. We kissed until my knees weakened. We kissed until every boundary I ever had blurred into nothingness. I left him that day without saying much, but I carried something dangerous home with me. Desire. Craving. A hunger that did not feel like my own. One evening, when Michael kissed my cheek and told me he would be working late, I grabbed my phone and messaged Dylan. I should not have done it. But I did. He picked me up behind the gym. His hands pulled me in immediately, and everything that happened after that led to the night I sneaked out of my own home. Inside Dylan's car, everything moved fast. His hands on my thighs. My fingers tangled in his shirt. His lips exploring the parts of me I should have saved for my husband. My breath was hot, desperate, and unsteady. The windows fogged up from the heat of our bodies and the cold night air outside. I was lost. Wild. Consumed by desire. And he knew exactly what he was doing. After it ended, I sat in the car breathing heavily, trembling with guilt and satisfaction mixed into something that terrified me. Dylan reached over, touched my chin, and told me that I looked beautiful. I hated how much I loved hearing that. When I returned home past midnight, Michael was asleep on the couch, waiting for me. His phone dimmed in his hand. He had fallen asleep trying to stay awake for me. My chest tightened painfully as I stood there staring at the man who trusted me so deeply. He opened his eyes slowly, smiled softly, and said, "I waited for you." That sentence shattered me more than any scream could have. I kissed him gently, trying not to let my guilt show. But as he pulled me closer, my phone vibrated in my pocket. A message from Dylan. "Dylan, I cannot stop thinking about you. Tomorrow? Same time?" Michael's arms were around me when I saw it. His lips brushed my forehead, unaware that the woman he loved was slowly becoming a liar right in front of him. And that was only the beginning. There was a moment, about a week after the first night with Dylan, when I looked at myself in the bathroom mirror and barely recognized the woman staring back. My eyes were tired, not from lack of sleep but from the weight of double living. My lips looked fuller, guilty, touched too often by a man who did not belong to me. Even my body language had changed. I moved differently. I breathed differently. I felt like someone who had opened a forbidden door and could not shut it anymore. Michael stood behind me brushing his teeth, innocent, calm, and completely unaware that the woman he loved had created a second life outside the walls of our home. He touched my shoulder gently before leaving for work. His touch made my skin prickle because I did not feel worthy of it anymore. He trusted me deeply. That trust became the sharpest knife cutting into me every single day. By day, I was Michael's wife. I cooked. I cleaned. I kissed him goodbye at the door. I texted him sweet messages. I laughed when he sent me emojis. I hugged him when he came home smelling like motor grease from his job at the auto shop. By evening, I became someone else. Dylan called it passion, but deep inside, I knew it was more than that. It was escape. It was danger. It was the thrill of being wanted in a way that felt reckless. Every time I saw him, the tension between us charged the air like electricity clinging to my skin. He would text me before I even thought about going to the gym. Dylan, same time? Dylan, I want to see you. Dylan, I cannot stop thinking about the last time. I should have blocked him. Instead, I found myself responding faster each day. The more I lied to Michael, the smoother those lies began to slide from my mouth. A quick smile. A fake reason. A gentle kiss on the cheek. It became a rhythm. A pattern. A dangerous second heartbeat beneath the first. It did not take long for Dylan's charm to reveal its darker edges. One afternoon, while I tried to leave the gym quickly before anyone noticed us together, he grabbed my wrist and pulled me into the storage hallway. His grip was firm, his jaw tight. "I do not like when you leave like you are running from me," he said. His voice was low, almost accusing. I pulled my hand away, pretending to laugh it off. "Someone might see us." He stepped closer, pressing me against the wall. "Let them. I am tired of hiding." His breath was hot against my neck. His body pressed firmly against mine. That moment should have terrified me. It did, but it also drew me in deeper. His intensity was addictive. It made my heart race in a way that scared me and excited me at the same time. But I knew something had shifted. Dylan wanted more than stolen moments. He wanted territory. Possession. Control. My best friend, Sarah, always had a way of looking at me like she could see the truth even when I was trying hard to hide it. One Saturday morning, we sat on her porch while her kids played in the yard. I was pretending to be relaxed, but she watched me with narrowed eyes. "Emily," she said suddenly, "you look different." I froze for a moment. Different how? She shrugged, but it was the kind of shrug that came with suspicion. "You look distracted. Nervous. Like you are hiding something." My heart skipped. I forced a smile. "I am fine. Just tired." She leaned back, observing me too closely. "You are lying." My stomach twisted. Sarah was the one person I could never fool. She sighed deeply and added, "I do not know what is going on with you, but please do not throw away your marriage. Michael loves you in a way many women pray for." Her words struck me hard. I nodded gently, pretending to take the advice, but when my phone vibrated in my pocket and I saw Dylan's name, my resolve crumbled. "Dylan, come to me. Now. I want you." I looked away quickly before Sarah could notice my reaction. I did not know it then, but danger was standing 2 houses away from me wearing sunglasses and watering her yard. Her name was Mrs. Hollis, our observant middle-aged neighbor who noticed everything. She saw who came in, who left, what time cars parked, what time lights turned on. One evening, I told Michael I was going to get groceries. Instead, Dylan picked me up 2 blocks away, and we went to his apartment for an hour. I thought I had covered my tracks well. I forgot about one thing. Mrs. Hollis walked her dog at unpredictable times. The next morning, she approached Michael while he was grabbing the mail. I watched from the window as she spoke, pointing vaguely down the street. Michael nodded politely at her, confused. She smiled and walked away. I felt the blood drain from my body. Later that evening, Michael casually mentioned it. "Mrs. Hollis said she thought she saw you getting into someone's car yesterday." I told her she probably mistook you for someone else. My heart almost stopped. But his next words cut deeper. He laughed softly and added, "She worries too much. I trust you." Those words hit harder than any accusation could have. Guilt began to twist everything around me. Michael started noticing things I forgot to hide. My late nights. My sudden gym obsession. My quick excuses. My nervousness around my phone. My sudden silence during dinner. One night, he sat beside me on the couch. His hand rested gently on my knee. "Are you all right?" he asked. I nodded too quickly. "You seemed far away lately." My stomach turned. I wanted to confess. I wanted to fall into his arms and cry and beg for forgiveness. But when I opened my mouth, a lie slipped out instead. "I am just stressed with work." He nodded slowly, studying me with concern rather than suspicion. That hurt even more. A few days later, Dylan called me unexpectedly. His voice was low, urgent. "Come to my place tonight. I do not care what excuse you have to give. I need you here." A shiver ran through me. "It is risky. I cannot." He exhaled sharply. "Then I will come to your house." My breath caught. "You cannot do that." "I am tired of hiding," he snapped. "You should tell your husband. Or at least tell him you are not happy." Panic rose in me. "Dylan, stop." He laughed, short and humorless. "I am not playing anymore, Emily." His tone scared me. It was no longer just desire. It was obsession. The same evening, after I ended the call shaken and restless, Michael walked into the living room holding my gym bag. "This fell open," he said softly. "Some stuff spilled out." I froze when I saw what he was holding. My perfume. The one I kept only for Dylan. The one I never wore around Michael. The scent that never belonged in a gym bag. He turned the small bottle around in his hand with confusion in his eyes. "You have not worn this in months," he said. "Why is it in your gym bag?" My heartbeat echoed in my ears. My mouth went dry. My hands trembled. He looked up at me with the saddest, softest question any husband could ask. "Emily, is there something you want to tell me?" The room felt small. My secrets felt loud. The walls felt too close. And for the first time since everything began, I felt the world I built cracking. One lie at a time. Michael stood there holding the perfume bottle like it was evidence of a crime he never believed he would have to investigate. His eyes were not angry. They were wounded. Confused. Searching my face for something, anything, that made sense. The silence between us was heavy, like the air before a thunderstorm. For a moment, I considered lying again. I considered creating another excuse. But my throat tightened, and I felt something inside me collapse. Guilt had been collecting like weight on my chest, and it finally became too heavy to carry. I took a slow, shaky breath. "Michael, I need to tell you something." He lowered the bottle slowly, bracing himself. I could see it. His shoulders tensed, his jaw clenched slightly. He already feared the truth. "Please," he said in a low voice, "just tell me." I sat down on the couch, and he sat across from me. The lamp beside us cast a warm glow, but everything about the moment felt cold. My voice trembled as I began. "There is someone else." Michael blinked once. Just once. But that single blink carried shock, disbelief, and heartbreak all at the same time. He whispered the words slowly, carefully, as if they were blades inside his mouth. "How long?" I stared at my hands. "A few weeks." He exhaled sharply. Not loudly. Not angrily. But painfully. He stood up and pressed both hands against his forehead like he was trying to physically hold himself together. I continued, because the truth had already started pouring out and I could not stop it. "It started at the gym. His name is Dylan." I should have stopped it, but I did not. I kept going. I sneaked out. I lied to you. I betrayed you in ways you did not deserve. He stood there speechless. Tears pooled in his eyes, but he refused to let them fall. Michael was always gentle, always composed. But now, I watched him fighting against the devastation I had caused. Finally, he spoke. I loved you like my entire world, Emily. My chest tightened so hard that I almost could not breathe. And I still destroyed you, I whispered. He shook his head slowly and walked to the door. I need time. I cannot be in this house right now. I cannot breathe here. I tried to reach for him, but he flinched back, not harshly but in a way that told me I had broken something sacred. He left the house with slow, heavy steps. The closing door felt like the end of everything. The house suddenly felt too quiet, too empty, too cold. I sank onto the floor and cried until my throat burned and my eyes felt swollen. Every memory of Michael's kindness played through my mind like punishment. Him fixing my car on cold mornings. Him bringing me breakfast when I worked late. Him rubbing my shoulders when I felt stressed. Him telling everyone proudly that I was his wife. I had not just betrayed a man. I had betrayed the safest place I ever had. Hours passed. The sky went dark. My phone buzzed repeatedly. I knew who it was before I even looked. Dylan. A string of messages filled the screen. Dylan, are you all right? Dylan, answer me. Dylan, did you tell him? Dylan, I told you this day would come. Then the final message chilled me. Dylan, I can pick you up if you want. You should not be alone. I wiped my tears and stared at those words. The idea of seeing him made me sick. Everything about our affair that once felt thrilling now felt poisonous. I typed back slowly. Do not contact me again. This is over. He responded instantly. Dylan, no. It is not. My hand shook. His reply felt more like a threat than a hope. Around 9:30, a loud knock startled me. My stomach dropped instantly because I recognized the force behind that sound. Dylan did everything with intensity, even knocking. I did not open the door. But he knocked again, louder. Emily, open up. I froze. My heart pounded so hard that I felt it in my fingers. He knocked again, then jiggled the doorknob. I backed away slowly, terrified. This was no longer the man who kissed me in the rain. This was someone unpredictable. Someone who felt entitled to me. Then headlights flashed through the window. A car pulled up sharply behind his. A door slammed. A firm voice cut through the air. Step back from the door. I peeked through the blinds and saw Officer Ramirez, our neighbor 2 streets over, who had just returned from his shift. He saw Dylan's aggressive behavior and intervened. Dylan stepped back reluctantly. Officer Ramirez approached with authority. What are you doing here? Dylan muttered something under his breath, angry and embarrassed. The officer crossed his arms. You need to leave. Right now. Dylan looked at my door one last time, his jaw tight, his expression dark with frustration, then walked back to his car and drove off. I exhaled shakily and slid down to the floor in relief. My hands trembled. My body felt cold. I had created the mess, but now it had grown into something I could not control. I barely slept. My eyes were swollen. My thoughts were loud. Every minute felt like punishment. At 6:30 in the morning, I heard keys at the door. The lock turned slowly. Michael stepped inside. His face was exhausted and red around the eyes. He had been crying. That sight broke me more than anything else could. He did not yell. He did not accuse. He just looked, defeated. He sat down across from me at the dining table. His voice was soft but strained. Did he come here last night? I swallowed hard. Yes. Michael shook his head slowly, rubbing his temples. I knew something was wrong. I felt it in my chest for weeks. I wiped a tear quietly. I am sorry. I am so deeply sorry. His next question hurt like fire. Was anything missing in our marriage? Did I not love you enough? Did I fail you somehow? I stood up and knelt beside him, crying into my hands. You never failed me. I failed myself. I failed you. I let temptation destroy my loyalty. You were the best thing in my life, and I lost sight of that. Silence settled between us for long, heavy seconds. Finally, he whispered, I do not know how to get past this. I placed my hand gently on his knee. I will do anything. Therapy. Honesty. Transparency. I will fight for us. I know I do not deserve a second chance, but I want to earn one. Michael looked at me with tired eyes. You hurt me deeply, Emily. I know, I whispered. And I will spend every day trying to repair what I broke. He closed his eyes. A single tear escaped. Then he said something that shocked me. I left last night because I needed to breathe. But when I was driving around, all I could think about was the fact that I still love you. My breath caught painfully. He continued, voice trembling, love does not disappear, even when it bleeds. Michael did not rush into anything. He asked for space. He slept in the guest room. We talked slowly, carefully, like two broken people learning how to walk again. We attended marriage therapy. I blocked Dylan everywhere. I reported his behavior to the gym. I deleted every message, every photo, every trace of the affair. I surrendered my passwords and location to Michael, not because he demanded it, but because rebuilding trust required transparency. Healing was not magical. It was painful. There were nights Michael cried quietly beside me. There were mornings I woke up drenched in guilt. There were moments we both wondered if we were doing the right thing. But day by day, honesty replaced fear. Communication replaced silence. Understanding replaced anger. One evening, months after everything shattered, Michael took my hand gently. I am choosing us, he said. Not because it is easy, but because I know our love is bigger than what broke us. I began to cry, but he pulled me into his arms. His embrace felt different. Not naive. Not blind. But strong. Conscious. Earned. We were not perfect. We were not healed entirely. But we were rebuilding. Brick by brick. Truth by truth. Day by day. And in that moment, I realized something. Forgiveness is not forgetting. Forgiveness is choosing love after knowing its cost. And Michael chose me. This time, I chose him back with everything I had left.